2001, a procurement office inside the Ministry of Defence, Whitehall, London. A decision is being signed that no one in the British Army expected. A nation that had built its own tank transporters for half a century, that had engineered the Thornycroft Antar and the Scammell Commander in its own factories, is about to place an order with a truck company from Wisconsin. The vehicle arriving to replace Britain's homegrown workhorse looks nothing like anything the Royal Logistic Corps has operated before. 8 driven wheels all turning together, a cab the size of a small house, a Caterpillar diesel engine producing 700 horsepower, a 7-axle trailer trailing behind it that stretches over 17 metres from coupling to ramp, combined. The whole rig weighs over 118,000 kilograms when loaded. And what it is loaded with is a Challenger 2 main battle tank, 62.5 tons of British armour sitting on its back like a passenger. It looked excessive. It looked foreign. It looked, to anyone who had grown up watching the old Scammell Commander grind its way through the lanes of Wiltshire, completely unnecessary. It was none of those things. The vehicle is the Oshkosh 1070F heavy equipment transporter. For over 2 decades, it has been the machine that moves every Challenger 2 Britain owns. It has operated across Iraq, across Afghanistan, across the plains of Estonia. It has served on operations where a breakdown is not an inconvenience, but a tactical failure, where a tank stranded on a road in Basra is a dead tank. It has done all of this without the recognition given to the armour it carries, without a single page in the regimental histories of the units it serves, and without the public ever learning its name. This is the story of why Britain chose an American truck to haul its most important weapon, and why that decision turned out to be exactly right. To understand why the Oshkosh exists in British service, you need to understand the machine it replaced, and the problem that machine created. The Scammell Commander entered British Army service on February 24, 1984. It was a serious piece of engineering. A 6x4 tractor, driven by a Rolls-Royce Perkins CV-12 engine, the same power plant fitted to the Challenger tanks it was designed to carry. It hauled its load on a 5-axle Crane-Fruehauf semi-trailer. 125 units were built at Scammel's factory in Watford, and they served primarily with the British Army of the Rhine in West Germany, ready to move Challenger 1 tanks across the North German plain if the Soviet armoured columns ever crossed the inner German border. When that moment never came, the Commander was tested in different conditions. In 1990 and 1991, during Operation Granby, 70 commanders deployed to Saudi Arabia and Iraq, carrying armour across desert terrain, averaging 270 kilometres a day. They performed well. The British Army trusted them, but then the Challenger 2 entered service, and everything changed. The Challenger 2 is a different proposition from the Challenger 1. In its base configuration, it weighs 62.5 tons. With its Dorchester composite armour fully fitted and additional protection bolted on, that weight climbs. In its heaviest combat configurations, Challenger 2 pushes towards 75 tons. The Scammell Commander's trailer was rated to carry 65 tons. That was no longer enough. The 5-axle trailer design also concentrated load across too few wheels, creating ground pressure problems and road legality issues on European infrastructure. A vehicle designed for one generation of armour could not safely carry the next. Britain needed a new heavy equipment transporter. The question was where to find one. In 1992, the United States Army had introduced its own heavy equipment transporter, the Oshkosh M1070, designed to carry the M1 Abrams main battle tank. Oshkosh Defense, based in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, had been building specialist military trucks since 1917. The company's product line included the heavy expanded mobility tactical truck, the palletized load system tractor, and dozens of other high-volume military contracts for the American Armed Forces. The M1070 was their flagship heavy lifter, 8x8, all-wheel drive, a 500 horsepower Detroit diesel engine in its original configuration. Over 1,400 were delivered to the American Army in the early 1990s. Britain did not simply order the American version off the shelf. The Ministry of Defence had its own requirements. European road regulations, Euro 3 emissions standards, and British operational specifications demanded a substantially revised vehicle. In January 2001, the MOD selected the Fast Tracks Consortium as preferred bidder for a 20-year private finance initiative covering the entire heavy equipment transport capability of the British Army. Fast Tracks was a partnership between Kellogg Brown and Root, Deutsche Bank, and Oshkosh. The production contract awarded directly to Oshkosh was valued at $75 million, with options raising it to $95 million. The 20-year service contract across the full PFY was valued by Oshkosh at over $440 million. What Britain received was not the American M1070, it was the 1070F, the F standing for the European specification variant built specifically for this contract. The changes were significant. The engine was upgraded to a Caterpillar C18, an 18.1-litre, 6-cylinder turbocharged and aftercooled diesel, producing 700 horsepower and 2,576 newton-meters of torque. The transmission was an Allison 7-speed automatic. The whole vehicle was Euro 3 compliant, meeting European emissions regulations the original American version did not satisfy. And there was one more change. The trailer was British. King Trailers of Market Harborough, Leicestershire designed and built the 7-axle semi-trailer that the 1070F would pull for the duration of its British service. The King trailer was a first of its kind, the first 7-axle self-levelling steerable trailer designed and produced in the United Kingdom. 5 of its 7-axle lines steered. Its load bed measured 12.5 metres long and 2.89 metres wide. Its payload rating was 72 metric tons. Spread across 7 axles and their associated wheel sets, the load per axle dropped to a level that European road networks could accept. The Scammel's 5-axle trailer had failed that test. The King trailer passed it. 92 tractors were ordered alongside 89 King trailers and 3 true hitch recovery systems. Deliveries began in 2003 and were completed in 2004. The vehicle entering British service was, in its final form, a hybrid. The tractor was American-designed but substantially re-engineered for European service. The trailer was British. The combination was unprecedented in British logistics history. Before we move into where this machine actually served and what it was asked to carry, if you are finding this examination of British military engineering and logistics useful, hit subscribe. It takes a second, it costs nothing, and it keeps this channel producing exactly this kind of content. Now, one clarification is necessary before describing the operational record of the 1070F, because it is a clarification that matters. The Oshkosh 1070F did not transport Challenger 2 tanks during the invasion of Iraq in March and April 2003. That operation, known as Operation Telic, was supported by the outgoing Scammell Commander fleet, whose crews achieved a reported 95% vehicle availability rate throughout the campaign. The last operational convoy run by a Scammell Commander took place in May 2004. The Scammel served until the final week of its operational life. The Oshkosh took over the role of Britain's primary tank transporter in 2004, as deliveries concluded and crews converted to the new vehicle. 19 Tank Transporter Squadron, Royal Logistic Corps, known informally as the Carmans, based at Bulford Camp in Wiltshire, became the primary operating unit. For the following 2 decades, every Challenger 2 that moved anywhere it could not drive under its own power moved on the back of an Oshkosh 1070F, crewed by soldiers of 19 Squadron. The mechanics of loading a Challenger 2 onto the King trailer illustrate both the capability of the system and its precision requirements. The tank drives onto the trailer under its own power via hydraulically operated rear ramps. Once positioned, 10 chains are applied to the hull and running gear following a strict tie-down scheme. The trailer's hydraulic suspension levels the load automatically. The whole combination, tractor and loaded trailer, then operates under specific road restrictions: 40 miles per hour on motorways, 35 miles per hour on dual carriageways, 30 miles per hour on single carriageways, with a combined weight exceeding 118,000 kilograms. Those restrictions are not bureaucratic caution. They are structural necessity. By 2008, the Oshkosh HET was documented operating in Helmand Province, Afghanistan, recorded in the collection of the National Army Museum. The Afghan environment presented challenges that the original King trailer had not been designed to address. In late 2009, 20 Broshui's 2-axle trailers were procured as an additional capability for Afghan operations, better suited to certain local load requirements and terrain conditions. That secondary procurement is itself evidence of the operational demand placed on the fleet in that theatre. The need was significant enough to justify additional equipment to supplement the King trailers. The Oshkosh also served on Operation Telic in the years following 2004, supporting the ongoing British presence in southern Iraq. In May 2007, Private Kevin Thompson, aged 21, of 19 Tank Transporter Squadron, Royal Logistic Corps, died from wounds received in an IED attack on a resupply convoy in Basra on May 3, 2007, during Operation Telic 9. He was attached to 19 Combat Service Support Battalion. The specific vehicle involved in that incident is not confirmed in MOD statements, which describe only a vehicle on a general resupply convoy. Private Thompson is the only known fatality from 19 Tank Transporter Squadron during the Oshkosh era. His death reflects the reality that a tank transporter driver in an active theatre is not sheltered from the same dangers as any other soldier on the road. Beyond Iraq and Afghanistan, the 1070F has served on Exercise Khanjar in Oman and on Operation Kabrit, the British contribution to NATO's enhanced forward presence in Estonia, where Royal Logistic Corps crews used the HET fleet to move Challenger 2 battle groups and their supporting armour. On Exercise Iron Surge in Germany, Oshkosh transporters moved Challenger 2s and Warrior infantry fighting vehicles out of Senelager in coordinated heavy movement operations. Account after account from 19 squadron drivers describes the vehicle in the same terms: reliable, powerful, demanding to maneuver in confined spaces, and entirely capable of the mission it was built for. The question that never leaves the room when discussing the 1070F is an obvious one. How did Britain go from building its own tank transporters to purchasing an American one? The answer is not surrender to foreign industry, it is a closer reading of what Britain actually received. The Fast Tracks Consortium required Oshkosh to produce a vehicle that did not exist before this contract. The 700 horsepower Caterpillar C18 powertrain, the 7-speed Allison automatic transmission, the European emissions compliance, the specific cab configuration seating, 6 crew members with rear berths for overnight operations, the central tyre inflation system, the Eaton VORAD blind spot collision radar, all of these were specified by Britain and built by Oshkosh to British requirements. The trailer that defines half the system's capability was designed and manufactured in Market Harborough. Britain did not purchase an off-the-shelf American product. Britain specified a new machine and had it built. The additional irony is directional. When the United States Army decided to upgrade its own M1070 to the M1070A1 configuration in 2010, the upgrade centered on a new engine, the Caterpillar C18 producing 700 horsepower. Britain had specified exactly that powertrain years earlier. The American Army's upgraded version followed the path Britain had already walked. Compare the 1070F to its nearest NATO equivalents, and the choice becomes clearer. The German Army's Faun SL T50 Elephant, the Bundeswehr's primary tank transporter for decades, uses a 4-axle trailer with a payload rating of around 52 tons. It was designed around the Leopard 2, which in its base configuration is lighter than the Challenger 2. The Elephant handles the Leopard adequately. It would not legally or structurally handle a fully loaded Challenger 2 on European roads without significant modification. The King trailer's 7 axles were not a luxury. They were the minimum engineering response to what the Challenger 2 actually weighs. The American M1000 trailer, used with the M1070 in US service, carries a standard payload of 63,500 kilograms, though manufacturer specifications allow heavier loads at reduced speed. In sustained operational use with the M1 Abrams, that capacity has been sufficient. The Abrams, in its base configuration, is heavier than many MBTs, but lighter than the Challenger 2 at its heaviest. The British requirement was more demanding, and the King trailer's 72-ton rating reflected that. The 1070F remains in British service in 2025. The original 20-year Fast Tracks PFY ran toward its conclusion in the early 2020s. In April 2024, the Department for Equipment and Support secured a contract with KBR Limited, valued at over £80 million for an interim capability solution covering the following 3 years, maintaining the existing HET fleet in operational readiness, while a permanent replacement is identified. Oshkosh is among the competitors for that replacement, offering an enhanced variant under the EHETS program, with improved suspension, a raised capacity of approximately 90 tons, and an armoured cab. A selection decision is expected in 2026. Full operational capability for the replacement system is targeted for June 2028. The reason for replacement is familiar. The Challenger 3, the upgraded variant of the Challenger 2 incorporating a new turret, new fire control systems, active protection integration, and additional armour packages, pushes total vehicle weight toward and potentially beyond 80 tons in its heaviest configurations. The King trailer is rated to 72 tons. History is repeating itself, this time with the Oshkosh in the role the Scammel played in the 1990s. A transporter designed for one generation of British armour is again approaching the weight limit imposed by the next. Return to 2001. The Ministry of Defence building in Whitehall. A procurement official signing a contract with an American truck manufacturer. The Scammell Commander that contract was replacing had served Britain honestly and well. It had hauled Challenger 1s across West Germany for 20 years. It had carried armour through Saudi Arabia and into Iraq. It had done everything asked of it until the weight of the next tank simply exceeded what it could safely carry. It was British, it was capable, and it was finished. The machine that replaced it was built in Wisconsin, and built to British specifications and pulled a trailer made in Leicestershire and operated by soldiers from Bulford. It had no famous name, no recognisable silhouette, no place in the public imagination of British military power. What it had was a 700 horsepower engine, 7 axles of load capacity, and the ability to move 72 tons of Challenger 2 down a motorway at 40 miles per hour without exceeding road stress limits. It served in Helmand, it served in Basra, it served in Estonia. It moved every Challenger 2 the British Army put in the field for over 2 decades. The Oshkosh 1070F never fought. That is not what it was built to do. It was built so that the things that fight can get to where the fighting is, with their tracks intact and their crews rested, without burning through engine hours that cannot be replaced on a road that does not end for another 300 miles. In logistics, that is not a supporting role. It is the decisive one. Britain chose an American truck because no British truck could do the job. The machine that arrived was rebuilt from the engine up to meet British requirements, paired with a British trailer, and operated by British soldiers for over 20 years without a single year out of service. That is not compromise. That is how a professional army equips itself. The tanks get the headlines, the transporters get them there.